Hello, it's Trevor Cutmore. Welcome to my channel. I really hope you enjoy my videos. And today what we're going to talk about is money. Money. Again, I've had another question. I do really enjoy your questions when they come through. Your comments, please comment, subscribe, and if you would share my videos, my YouTube channel to your friends. If you would do that, I'd really appreciate it. But another question that's come in, and as I say, I really like your questions, so keep them coming. And the question is, working with investors' money. Great question. A couple of things. You know, a lot of people say, how do you find people to invest with you? Well, you know, and they say, well, I'll go and find money, then I'll find the property. I like to find the property. You'll always find the money. If you have a great deal, you'll work harder to find it. If you find the money and you've got nothing to give them, then they're waiting and that's it. Look, at the moment, I have to tell you, I have a lot of people who have funds and they're waiting to invest with me, but I'm just waiting for the right time. And my time is going to be after Christmas, and I am firmly positioning myself. I've got a few things which I'm looking at the minute and talking to, some options, etc., and some great opportunities. So that's exciting. I'm looking at a £2 million property this week, and this is something that we spoke to the owner a little while ago. They weren't really interested in what we were trying to do. That went a little bit cold, and now they've come back to us and said, look, we are interested in joint venture now, would you like to come back? And this is something that we'll be doing on an option. So that's quite exciting, and that's good. And I've also got something really exciting that I'm doing, which I can't really speak about too much at the minute, but I've got a young couple who I'm bringing onto the mentorship. I'm really excited to be working with them, so watch this space. However, let's say you find a property and now you've got an investor who wants to put the money in, and the question, you know, some of the question is, how do I take that money? Do I put it into my personal bank account? Does it go into my company? How do I do it? Okay, great question. First and foremost, you have to be very careful dealing with money. Very careful. If you just take it into your company or into your personal, either way, you can end up in hot water, because if you haven't done the checks for money laundering regulations, then you can be in serious trouble. And it doesn't matter how much it is, you know, if it's because if you're doing property, it could be 10,000, 100,000, £500,000, whatever. You need to do it correctly. Now, you can get up and get set up with the insurances. You can set up, and so you can do your money laundering checks yourself. You can do that. I don't bother. I don't do it. The reason is, with lenders' money, I don't want it in my account. That's the truth, right? Not to start with. It goes into the solicitor's account. And the most important thing is, before you start, look at exit. If you don't look at exit, you're missing it, and this can end up in a nasty way. I see too many joint ventures or people borrowing money from investors. I see too many times it goes wrong. And that can be a small investment, you know, £25,000. And I also know people who have gone, again, it's gone wrong, and we're talking millions and millions of pounds. It's gone. The contracts are there, but you got to have a strong exit. And supposing you approached me and you wanted money, I don't lend money out anymore. I just don't do that. I've been burnt, but I have a lot of people who want to give me their money, and that's good. Why? Because I know what I'm doing. I have good results, good track record, and I know what I'm doing. And if you're interested, contact me privately by my email. We'll have a chat, we'll have a bit of a call, and we'll see where we go from there. But once you start to understand, and you sit down with somebody and you say, right, I've got this opportunity. It's to buy a house, £200,000, £100,000 to do it up. We cut it into 8 flats, and now it's going to be worth £500,000. Okay, just what the numbers don't really matter. It's the is understanding what to do with the money. And let's say you're very fortunate and you have an investor who's going to give you £300,000 cash, the whole lot, all that you need. So the 200 is including stamp and legals and everything there. So you don't need any finance, you don't need any of your money, but it's 300,000. So, okay, still, what are you going to do? You can't just take the money. You've got to draw something up, and that will cost money with solicitors. So you will formulate a joint venture agreement. And if you go into a company together, then that's easy. There's no, the investor puts the money into the company, which is a director's loan, and they have control. They've got security. If you buy a property in that company, their security is on that property. No problem at all. But if you're not doing a company and they're lending it to you as a joint venture or just as a loan, where's their security? Where is it? So if you can get all of the money, it's great, because you can give them security, although it's in your company name or your name, they can have the security first charge on that property as a lender would. No problem at all. So that's easy. But what is the exit? What happens if it goes wrong? What happens if the investor runs out of money? Because they might give you all the money to buy it. The refurb costs, they don't normally give you all that in one go. That would come down in stages, and lenders do this in stages. So you'd get, if it's £100,000, they might give you £25,000 in £25,000 slots as you go through, so they can just monitor to make sure that it's all going well. But singly, the most important thing is exit. How do I get out? And look at stress testing. And what happens if things decline, if the values go down, what happens with contingency when things go wrong. All of these things are so important. And as I said, I've seen it go wrong too many times. I've seen people just almost do it on a handshake, which is very nice. But I completely disagree. Do not do that. Even with my sons, we were wanted to invest some money. We will still have a contract. Contract's really important when money is involved. I know that somebody gets, what are you talking about, Trevor? Yes, do the contract. It gives them security as much as you. It's their money. And if you really are going to borrow people's money, you've got to think from them. They need the peace of mind. And even if it's your own family, give them the contract so they feel secure. It's not about you. You can trust me. It's easy. Give them a contract. Always a proper contract. Do not take it online and do one or buy one online. Do it properly with solicitors. It will cost you a few £1,000s to do it properly. Probably a couple of grand, okay? But do it. So it'll have a joint venture agreement and a loan agreement in there. Witness secured. And if there's a legal charge, make sure that the solicitor puts that, and make sure everything's done, and so your investor is happy. But look, this has gone wrong many times. Too many times for people that I meet, people I've mentored, because the shortcuts are done. There was one couple that I mentored. They got a property. I helped them get a property on an option. They had to do £160,000 worth of work on it. They borrowed that money from somebody in the group, which was fine. But within the first moment that they had to do an extension, they found this company. They did all their due diligence on finding this company. They had the right contracts for the loan. That's all taken care of. But listen what happened. What happened is they did the due diligence. They found this company. They had to do the groundworks. The groundworks are quite specialist area. So that means they dig out and they put the foundations down, the proper membranes and damp proofing, all of that down. So it's quite specialist area. So they get this company and they spend just under £20,000 on paying them. That's the money that the company want up front. So they didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have any money themselves. So they borrowed this money, £160,000. So on the first part of the project, they paid over just under £20,000 to this builder. And the next day, the builder did a runner and went bankrupt. How about that? Now they've got a contract. And the mentee came to me and said, Trevor, what do we do? We're going to try and fight this in court, and they'd lost, unfortunately. But they couldn't get anything. The guy absconded and just did a runner. It's terrible. So what do we do? So I said, okay, it's fine. There's plenty of there's plenty of profit in this project. So what you've done, you've lost a chunk of money. So, but you've got to be straight, you've got to be honest. So they sat down with the investor and they told me, because it wasn't their fault, they did their DD and they were just up front and they told them. And that is the right way to do it. The investor said, okay, that's not good. But the investor said, look, I'll give you that money again, but obviously I get that back at the end with the profit that we originally agreed. And they said, yes, and we'll pay you a bit extra interest. So it resolved. And that's the type of relationship that you must have. The honesty, the transparency, the communication, and that is where you can do projects successfully. Look, this was just a short video to give you a little bit of insight on how to do it. So remember, never take investors' money straight direct into your company or into your personal, unless you're doing money laundering regulation checks yourself and you can prove that to HMRC, because it's a very serious thing, and FCA. Best to take it in through the solicitor will do all the checks, and the solicitor then can transfer it to you. Is there a cost? Of course there's a cost for it. Not much, a few £100, but it's worth every single penny, because you are protecting yourself and you're protecting them, because you need those checks done. Get it wrong and it can be really, really bad for you, okay? I hope you enjoyed it. Please share this video, subscribe, watch out on Fridays. I've got a whole series on the development. I'll put the link for the first one down here and you can have a look at it. If you've got any questions, if you're interested in investing in property and you would like to have a chat to me about that, with some of the things we're doing, it's some really exciting stuff coming up, then please drop me an email and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful week. Take care and God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.